What's up, everybody? The Game 2K2 here again, and I'm here to continue my look back on the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and today we're going to be looking at what's considered the most popular game in this franchise's history, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This originally released on the Sega Genesis. We are currently looking at the Xbox Live port of this game, which is literally the exact same game. And let's not waste any more time, let's begin. Now, one of the features that Sega did add was being able to play as a solo character. As many people might know, with the original game, you played as Sonic and Tails. Well, you controlled Sonic, but Tails was there to tag along. And you have the option to have Sonic solo on the screen and Tails solo on the screen, but I really recommend both Sonic and Tails, because despite what Tails' reputation might make you think, he actually is really useful in this game. He's good at collecting rings that you might have missed, and also killing enemies that hit you throughout the game. So he actually is really useful. So let's not waste any more time, let's begin. Now, I've had a lot of playing time with Sonic 2, and I've had a chance to really compare this game with the original. And really, you know, from a graphical standpoint, there's not much separating this game from the original. The only differences that I've noticed is that this game does have a cleaner look to it, and what I mean by that is it goes back to what I said about the first game when I did the look back on Sonic 1, and that was it did look a little rough around the edges, but that was completely understandable considering the fact that it was the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game on the Sega Genesis. And we'll skip the bonus level for now. I'll show you guys that later. But with this game, they cleaned it up. You know, the levels are much more detailed. The game is more colorful overall, which says a lot. And Sonic himself even looks a lot sharper. He has these nice little reflections coming off his body, which, you know, is really impressive for the Sega Genesis. So it does look like a much better game, but again, you can't tell any of these differences when you're just looking at the game from the naked eye. Another change is with the sound in the game. The sound is much more detailed, it's much louder. And from what I can tell, there are a lot more sound effects in this game than there were in the first game. Which says a lot, because the first game was also had a lot of sound in it. Now on to the gameplay. The gameplay has not been tweaked a lot. In fact, this is pretty much the exact same gameplay. You start from the beginning of the level, and then you move all the way to the end of the level without dying. But with this game, one of the things that Sega did change, and this was mainly their response to one of very few things that people did not like about the first game, and that was the fact that it got way too difficult, way too fast. And I honestly didn't see that problem. Yeah, I had a little trouble in that game during my look back too, but I didn't think it was, you know, too difficult in any sense. I thought it was actually the perfect difficulty. So Sega actually did change things around for this game, made the difficulty much more progressive. Oh man, this bonus level is awesome. And I might be wrong on this little fact, but I think this was the very first 3D-based level ever seen on a console game, because I think Wolfenstein 3D was already out for the PC, so it wasn't the first ever 3D level ever seen. But with this game, just seeing this on the Genesis is really impressive, and the fact that Sega was able to really pull this off is really shows what the Genesis was capable of at the time. But the objective of this is to collect the amount of rings that this game sets out for you, and if you get the correct amount of rings, then you get a ruby at the end. And this is just a really fun bonus level that they came up with. I really enjoy this. And you do this several times throughout the game, and And like anything else, it gets more difficult as you go along. Like each bonus level is different from the other one, and some are shorter, some are longer, some have more obstacles, and some have less obstacles. So the difficulty changes as the game progresses, and it's really a cool bonus level. And one thing that I had trouble remembering, I had to actually find this out the hard way, that you have no rings when you get out of the bonus level, so you have to really go back and get more rings before you face Dr. Robotnik here. There we go. But going back to progressive, I don't think I explained that enough. What I mean by progressive difficulty is that it's like any other game. You know, it starts off really easy, and then it progressively gets harder and harder and harder as the game moves along. And that's the case with Sonic 2. Sonic 1, you know, there were complaints that it got way too hard, you know, by the second level, and I honestly didn't notice that. You know, I noticed that it was slightly more difficult. You know, I obviously had trouble in my look back, but I don't think it was a problem, as so many others thought it was. Oh, and this is one thing I haven't mentioned yet, the music for Sonic 2. Particularly this tune, the Chemical Plant tune. Anyone who's ever played this game, or even heard of this game, knows the Chemical Plant tune. It's one of the most well-known tunes in video game history, and again, this goes back, you know, to the development of this game, and it's clear that Sega really knew what they were doing by this point. The music in the first game wasn't bad. I'm not saying that at all, but you know, it wasn't nearly as catchy as this. Sega really did a good job, and I don't think there's a single tune in this game that's out of place. It's much like, you know, the tunes for Super Mario Brothers. It's one of those games where you won't be ashamed to have the tunes on your MP3 player and listening to them in your car, because they're that catchy. Now, when I played this game, I've been doing, over the past week, I've been doing a lot of comparing and contrasting to from this game to Sega CD Sonic CD for Sega CD, and seeing where Sega went wrong with that game. Because again, you know, Sonic CD gained this reputation as being the best Sonic game ever made, and when I did my look back, you know, I didn't feel that Sonic CD was as good as so many people were making it out to be. So I've done a lot of comparing, a lot of contrasting from this game to Sonic CD to see where Sega went wrong, and it's really obvious right off the bat. This game is much better in its setup, and you know, the levels are much more evenly designed. The difficulty is much better thought out. Sonic CD, my problem with Sonic CD is that I felt it had the same problem which many people had with the first Sonic game, and that was the fact that it got way too difficult way too early. In fact, Sonic CD got difficult right from the first level, which is a huge problem. But with this game, you know, I think it comes off much better than Sonic CD because the difficulty is kept much better, and the levels are just way more even. I mean, yeah, there are moments when the levels in Sonic 2 can get a little uneven, but, you know, they're still much more fun than I thought the levels were in Sonic CD. And, yeah, we might as well do the bonus level again. And we'll just finish up, you know, level 2, and then we'll end this look back there. And again, you know, as I said before, these bonus levels get more difficult as the game goes on. And actually, you know what, I think I mentioned this too, I don't think they get more difficult. You know, I've noticed that as the game progresses, you know, some bonus levels are easier than others. This one is actually one of the tougher ones. This one I actually had to go through a couple times, mainly because of that, those things in the way. Okay, let's see if we can get through this. Tails, come on. Oh god, I hope we get through this. I don't think we did. Oh, wait. Yes. No. Yes. No, we didn't make it. Oh well. Oh well. Doesn't matter. Oh, that's a little bit of a glitch right there. That screen looks so off. A little glitchy. Okay, let's see if we can... Come on. Now, when it comes to the level designs for this game, I like them all, but my two favorite are this one, Chemical Plant, and the Casino. I love the Casino level. That is a level I can play for hours, you know, just on the slot machines that they have in that game. I can do that forever. Now, this added to the difficulty of the game, too. Being under that water, because Sonic does run out of air after a while, and you have to collect air bubbles that are under the water in order to survive, or else you die under that, or else you die under the water. And again, you know, that added difficulty too. Let's see. Let's beat Dr. Robotnik, and then we can end this quick look here. Or not quick look, look back. And I think we're approaching the end of it. This I love. This always makes me laugh. You can start hitting him right before he even sets up. Oh no! Oh god! I was doing so good, and then I ended it there. Let's see. I think we get rings before we reach Dr. Robotnik. Yes, we do. Okay. Wait for it to come back. Now, if you really want to take risks in this game, you can jump off the spring and try to jump across that thing, but I'd never try that. Okay, let's get this over with. Oh, I almost did it again. There we go. But yeah, we can end this look back here. So overall, does it live up? Does it hold up just as well today as it did back then? Yes, it does. I honestly, in my heart, my feelings, I honestly do believe that it's not Sonic CD that is the best Sonic game ever. It is Sonic 2 that is the best Sonic game ever. And I will stand by that always. This is my absolute favorite Sonic game, and I can play this all day long. And I know this look back might seem a little rushed compared to my other ones that are on my show, but I've been a little busy lately. I'm getting ready for Comic-Con, which is coming here to Albuquerque, so I've been getting ready for that, so I haven't had much time to do a lot of videos. My schedule will be back to normal after Comic-Con is done. In fact, I'll have a lot of Comic-Con footage after next week. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next time.